Good afternoon, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching, as always, it is appreciated. I'm sure everybody's heard about this case which I'm going to bring up now, which is about a Islamist killer winning 240k compensation in a battle over his human rights. Fuad Awale's compensation and legal costs have been agreed by the Justice Minister, David Lammy. There's nuance to this, and the specifics that the media, even GB News, aren't really talking about, and I want to talk about it in a bit more detail. There's obviously MPs such as Rupert Lowe, former Reform UK MP, who are up in arms about this. Reform UK are up in arms about this as well, and I completely agree. This is absolute insanity. So we're going to get into the meat of the case now. An Islamist who murdered 2 people and held a prison officer hostage has been handed nearly £250,000 of taxpayer-funded compensation and legal costs. Fuad Awale is serving a life sentence for shooting 2 teenagers in the head in what a judge described as a planned execution in Milton Keynes in the Fishermead estate in 2011. He went on to ambush a prison officer and threatened to kill him unless Britain released hate preacher Abu Qatada. After being moved to a separation unit, he claims segregation has breached his right to private life under Article 8 of the Human Convention of Human Rights, the ECHR, suggesting that he suffered severe depression as a result of being denied contact with other inmates. You see, the issue we've got here, first of all, is the whole concept of human rights. It should be human privilege. This no-mark, this nutter, this complete psychopath decided to take the lives of 2 other people. In what lawful and rational society are his human rights placed above those that he didn't have any regard for? It should be human privilege. If you don't respect others' human rights, why should you get the reciprocal rights that you took from other people? This is a common sense approach, in my opinion. If you breach the human rights of others by violating them or taking their life, that should mean, whilst you're in prison at least, that yours were forfeited to a degree. It should be human privilege, it shouldn't be human rights. They shouldn't be universal. They should only apply to Europeans because it's the European Convention on Human Rights. So you could have a European Convention on human privilege, and the caveat is it applies specifically to Europeans. You see, there's no common sense thinking in any of this. And then we continue. Now, Justice Secretary David Lammy has agreed £7,500 in compensation and to foot a £234,000 legal bill after a judge ruled that his treatment breached his human rights. The judge said that the degree of interference with the claimant's private life had resulted from his removal from association had been of some significance and duration. During the hearing, the court was told that Awale had been held in HM Prison Woodhill since 2021, had not associated with any other prisoners since March 2023, spending little more than 1 hour a day outside his cell. It sounds like the segregation that Tommy Robinson got in prison. I wonder if he got a compensation payout as well. Be interested to know if he did. His lawyers argued that decisions to deny any association were opaque, and he had been denied the chance to argue his case, and prison managers had failed to regularly review his segregated conditions as required by law, reports The Telegraph. And it gets better. It gets absolutely better, so we're going to continue. A letter written by David Lammy to his Conservative counterpart Robert Jenrick explaining the fee said that the £7,500 compensation sum was a modest proportion of the overall settlement. He added that it had been contested with the Ministry of Justice as the case with all litigation by prisoners convicted of terror offences. A review by the terror watchdog Jonathan Hall KC is currently being assessed alongside recommending an appeal to Awale's ruling, which would look how security could be improved after an alleged knife attack on 3 prison officers by the Manchester arena bomber plotter Hershon Abedi. Mr. Lammy told Jenrick, "I can assure you that significant policy and operational changes are under after consideration to ensure that legal framework regarding the placement and separation remains robust, relevant and trusted." Let's just have a look now. And finally, let's just have a look. Awale was sentenced to a minimum of 38 years in prison in 2023 after killing Mohammed Al-Farah and Amin Hamid Ismaili in an alleyway over a drugs dispute. In 2013, just days after the murder of British soldier Lee Rigby by an Islamist terrorist, Michael Edibajalo, or whatever, I don't even care what these Nemark's names are called, in Woolwich, in southeast London, Awale took to a prison officer hostage and made threats to kill him. He pointed a sharp implement at the throat of the officer and was pinned to the chair and said, "Stop struggling, I've killed 2 people, I'll kill you." The ECHR court heard how, following his isolation, Awale asked to associate with one of Mr. Rigby's murderers and was denied the request owing to counter-terrorism concerns. This is absolutely bonkers. This Nemark took the life of 2 people and wanted to hang around and buddy up with the murderers of Jumar Lee Rigby in prison. And because we didn't allow him to do this, the ECHR is saying that we breached his human rights, his human fucking rights. I don't actually care. I literally do not care. I could not give a fuck about this animal's human rights. I've got an idea with all these crazy ECHR rulings. It may sound crazy, but bear with me. Here's the idea.
How about no, you crazy Dutch bastard?
This would solve all of the problems. This would solve all of the problems, or a lot of the problems, with the legal system in the United Kingdom. The 1998 Human Rights Act and the animals that it is protecting. What I also find curious is that if you look at how the money is being spent, so we've got nearly 250k here of our money, taxpayers' money, and it's being paid out by the government to the government in essence, because the government pays the upfront legal fees to the solicitors and the lawyers for this case, and then when they get it back, it goes around in a circle, if you get what I mean. The legal aid is provided, the government lost the case, and so it's a circle, because of the Human Rights Act and the Human Rights Law. It goes in one end and it goes out the other, and this murderer, this Nemark, has got nearly 10 grand compensation because of this. This is absolutely bonkers. And then we got onto this here. Let's just have a look now. This is a bit of background on this guy. We don't actually know where he came from. The country and the system is being deliberately opaque. Do we even know if he's a British national? Why is he in the country? Multiple news accounts from the time of his conviction refer to Awale as one of the suspects described as a Somali, or part of the local Somali community in Milton Keynes. Some reports noted that he was one of the group that was from the community involved in a crime or the murder. However, the mainstream reports or official coverage specifies that it doesn't specify when he came to the UK, by what route, family entry, asylum claim, or immigration status. If he's of Somali origin, he should go back. I don't want these people in the United Kingdom. These animals, these barbarians, these murderers, they don't respect us. And the lawyers, the entire cottage industry of human rights is designed to allow and enable cases like this. The way that the government sees it is they never think of taxpayers' money as an actual real thing. They always see it in the abstract. With £3 trillion in the hole, in the red, alright? We simply cannot afford it. It's not about, oh, you can't afford human rights. We had human rights before 1998, alright? We had human rights well before the ECHR. We'll continue to have them well into the future. This is about practicality and common sense. Any rational person could legitimately argue that This case is bonkers. There is no rationale that this outcome is the correct outcome either for decent law-abiding people in the UK or the taxpayer. These are the people that should be put on the pedestal. These are the people that the government should be acting in their interest, okay? If you violate our laws, you disregard other people's right to safety and their right to a private life and their right to, breathe, then yeah, I don't actually care if you've got human rights. You may think that this is mean-spirited, you may think that this is cold-hearted. This is just my view. As always, your mileage may vary. The entire human rights framework needs to go. Now, if you like this video, and you think I'm onto something, make me aware. As always, call it as you see it in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. You have a good day, and thank you for your time.